welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have a recipe that I want to try. It's seitan and it's going to be a burger. We will mix all the wet ingredients and then we will knead it for about 10 minutes with my fabulous KitchenAid, and then we will simmer them in a vegetable stock for about an hour before we take them upstairs to the folks' patio and put them on the barbecue. This recipe comes from a girl on Instagram, and and she's awfully adorable and I love to watch her cook. So we're gonna try one of her recipes today. So the first thing we're going to do, because I'm going to use some of my freeze-dried items today, I'm not going to cook down the onions and everything and the celery because there's no juice in them. The recipe asks for 1 onion and 2 sticks of celery. So my celery is not open. So I'm using the freeze-dried celery today and the freeze-dried onions. We have some mushrooms. I'm gonna use chickpeas. She actually uses kidney beans in her recipe. Gluten. I've got about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of tomato puree, and then I've got some seasoning: smoked paprika, garlic, chili, pepper, and a bit of a grind of salt. And some my cheap-ass vegetable stock. 1/4 cup of the freeze-dried celery. The reason I love this product so much is the ingredients is equal to celery. And it says nothing about how many sticks it is. 1/2 cup of water to 1 cup of celery, and you'll get about 1 cup of celery. But we only want some flavor. Okay, back to my recipe here. So we want celery and about an onion. So I've got the freeze-dried chopped onion here. So it's just in little bits. I'm going to put, this is 1/4 cup measure, but I really want them to be in the actual meat of the burger. So I'm gonna, while I have it open, I'm gonna put 1/4 cup of them in my bowl. Then I'm gonna put the mushrooms in. I have 120 grams, which we very carefully measured out to be 4 ounces. Thank you, Mr. Google. And I'm gonna want the beans in this too. That's not gonna fit. They need to go the full size one. There, now we've got room. Because we still need to add the beans. I'm gonna want 1/2 cup of beans, the tomato puree, and 1 1/4 cups of veggie stock. I would like to play with a lot more seitan recipes. So if you are an ex-meat eater, I think that you will really appreciate some of the flavors that you can get from seitan. I know that I'm looking forward to playing with it and being able to experiment. So I'll just get everything in the blender. And then while it's blending, we'll measure our gluten into the KitchenAid. Then I've got all my spices. That was 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 tablespoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of chili, and about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a couple of grains of salt. there's no beans in that. Thanks, camera guy, for reminding me. So I have a strainer here in the sink. This is my 1/4 cup here. And these are some chickpeas that I've previously done in my Instapot. And in case I didn't say how much that was 1/2 cup of beans. So you can make seitan with just gluten and water. But adding the beans, I think, makes a huge difference. All right, I think we're good to blend. A bit of a scrape. Ooh, it smells good. I say that a lot, don't I? Well, because I think that you eat with your nose, your eyes, your nose. I'm more of a nose eater than a eye eater. Alrighty. So this is the juicy bit. I've got 2 1/4 cups of gluten, vital gluten in my bowl with that 1/4 cup of freeze-dried onions. And then all of this flavor is gonna go into that bowl. And we'll mix and knead. Now you should knead this for about 10 minutes. If you don't have a machine like this that does it, you can just punch the heck out of it on your counter. Well, they actually say the harder you punch it, the better the texture. All right, I think I got as much as I can get out of there. This is where all the flavor is. So we're just gonna knead that.
Twenty minutes later.
So it's been kneading for 10 minutes. And this is what it looks like now. And it's so strange because it's really rubbery, but it smells super meaty. So I'm just kind of bringing it together so that I can shape it up a bit. I should probably, I'm gonna give it away. So that I can, no pun intended. So that I can make sure our patties are even. So I have my little scale, right? Look at how stretchy this is. That's the gluten fully developed. so rubbery. The first time I ate seitan, I was so scared to put it in my mouth. And it was so tasty. So there I've got like 4 equal-ish. Oh, they're all about 5 ounces. And then what we need to do is simmer this until the gluten cooks. And that will take about 60 minutes. Oh, horrible at cutting it in half. I'll take half of that bit back. And call it done. I just want them to be similar, close. And I'd rather have bigger burgers. I have some sausage recipes I want to try too. All right, so I will clear this out and I'll get the Instapot out and then we'll set it all up to simmer for an hour. And I'm not really sure how much they'll shrink. Don't put them on top of each other. I'm just gonna give them a bit of a stretch. So they look kind of like, you can see that freeze-dried onion in there. Place them in there. I'm gonna saute this on low. Right, we discovered that it will only saute for 30 minutes. So I've got my veggie stock in there. And I'm just going to try and pile these up. So this is pure gluten. I would not feed this to my gluten-free aunties. Okay, this is just starting to come up to a simmer. I don't really want them to be on top of each other. So I'm gonna add a bit of water. Just so they can float a little bit. And I've got one more to add to the pot. Put one in and get the lid on that. And we'll let that sit for an hour. Okay, are we ready?
Yep.
To unearth, let's turn that off. Do you want to look in that pot?
Sure.
So it's been simmering for about an hour. Got a couple of forks. So it looks like the gluten is fluffed up and puffed up and it's really cooked. I'm really surprised at how well they are not stuck together. So I'm just carefully lifting them off of each other. And I think we'll want them to dry a little bit and then we'll put some barbecue sauce on them and put them on the barbecue grill. But they definitely, even though I stacked them on top of each other, they definitely stayed as their own patty. Very interesting. They soaked up almost all of that juice. The veggie stock that we put in there and the water that we added. It's almost totally gone now. So I think that's quite impressive. So there we have our seitan, and we will take it upstairs and put it on the barbecue. Relish. Sorry, I'm so excited about putting this together. I forgot that you were there. And I have some caramelized onion relish, which I'm just gonna add. I've got some vegan mayo with balsamic vinegar and some relish and some very lumpy mustard. Then I'm going to put my fabulous Seitan. Can I bite this one? I want to bite this one. It's got a great texture and it's very flavorful. This was so easy to do. Can't wait to experiment with Seitan some more. Then I've got a pasta salad that I made with some fava bean, what do you call that, rotini? And just a bunch of fresh vegetables, and then I did a garlic tofu sauce. And then I've just got a green salad and I did a tofu ranch. And we're gonna tuck in and watch a movie. So meet us back here for more experiments. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.